Welcome to a special edition episode of Dingers and Dashers. As always, my name is Josh alongside my co-host Adam. It's a great day to recap the Wild Card series and preview the divisional rounds for the MLB. Adam, let's hear it. What went down?
What a wild card series. Josh, I just want to premise with the fact that I was 4 for 4 in my picks, getting all the games right and the amount of games that would go in the series. So, claps for me. You went 3 for 4 getting that Red Sox Yankees pick, but overall, we were really good on the show. We're a credible source. Just want to put that out there. Anyway, all right, let's start with Cam Schlittler. Just wow.
Wow.
Well, I was right, Josh. Cam Schlittler went 8 innings pitched, gave up 5 hits, no earned run, 12 Ks, 0 walks in his MLB postseason debut as a rookie. Wow.
I was blown away by this. I mean, you have two young pitchers starting that game in Connolly Early and Cam Schlittler for the Yankees there. Wow. I did not expect him to pass 100 pitches last night. I did not expect any of that to happen. Aaron Boone seemed to have a hunch. Aaron Boone said he knew what was going to happen. I didn't believe him before the game, but wow.
You could see it on the broadcast. You could see they showed him in the dugout, and you could see he was like, "Oh, you're getting another one. You keep going." And then when he finally pulled him, he's like, "Oh, you're done. You're at 105 pitches." But like, he did not want to pull him. He did not want to get to his bullpen right there because Cam Schlittler was working. His two-seam sinker that he was throwing over like 100
Whew.
miles per hour. I mean, it was unhittable for hitters. As a catcher, I know
Filthy.
it's going right at you, and then it dips and drops. It dips to the side, it drops. I mean, hitters aren't seeing it. They took a lot of pitches. He had 12 Ks. Cam Schlittler absolutely destroyed the Red Sox.
Look, as sensational as Cam Schlittler was last night, I'd be remiss if I didn't give a little shout out to Connolly Early. He is actually the youngest Red Sox pitcher to start a postseason game since Babe Ruth in the 1916 World Series. Look, I think Connolly Early had a great game. Obviously, the final stat line is pretty ugly, reading 3.2 innings pitched, 4 earned runs. Actually, it might not be 4 earned runs due to some errors behind it. But yeah, what was happening with the Red Sox defense? Cedar Rafaela, he should be a Gold Glover. He's not coming in time for those pop flies. There's a lack of communication. We have balls going off the infielder's glove. Nathaniel Lowe slipping up. Shocker, who saw that coming? We watched him in DC this season. Not surprised at all. Look, great guy. I think he's a little bit past his peak in the field. But Connolly Early, I think that the future is very bright for him, and I would be remiss. So, Adam, the Yankees, seemingly in defiant fashion, winning that game Thursday night over the Red Sox. Can we be convinced? Are they going to take on the Blue Jays?
Yeah, I'm convinced, Josh, and I'm gonna head into my pick for the Yankees Blue Jays game. I'm gonna go Yankees in 4. I'm gonna say that confident pitching rotation, that confident Aaron Boone makes great decisions in this round. I know saying Aaron Boone makes great decisions is wild to say because we've seen him make some bad decisions in the past. But yeah, I'm gonna say the Yankees stay hot. They go on to beat their division rival, who they've been playing all season long very well in a tight match. And I think um, Yankees with Aaron Judge getting really hot in this series. I'm going to say Giancarlo Stanton, who I know you have an opinion on, getting hot in this series. And I think Anthony Volpe, who I said was going to get a home run in the wild card, I think he gets another huge home run in Game 3 or Game 4 of this divisional round. And I'm going to take Yankees in 4. But Josh, you're not
Sure.
convinced, are you?
Well, think about it some more. I think I'm actually going to go with the Yankees in 5 here. I think it's going to just come down to more experience. Look, a year ago, the Blue Jays were a last place team. It's amazing what they've done, but I think similar to the Reds, this year is not about winning a World Series. I think this year's about just another step forward in the process. But yeah, I'm still not fully sold on these Yankees. We have Giancarlo Stanton pimping doubles, hardly making to second base, making bad reads on the base paths. He could have scored a fifth run in that fourth inning. Instead, he had no idea where that ball was. You're a veteran MLB player playing in a go home or win playoff game. These are not mistakes you can be making.
Totally. Yeah, I don't know what you're doing, but still, he made it there in time, and I don't think it's a huge problem. I mean, Giancarlo Stanton can pip a home run and make it to second base. Then why not do it? Show you have confidence in your stuff. I don't think it's a big deal. I don't think it like shows or the Yankees are thinking ahead too much. I just think they're getting excited, and I mean, to me, to everybody in the stadium, it looked like it was gone. So I'm not
Look,
gonna blame Stan too much. I know he made that mistake when he probably should have scored on that single, that little pop fly that we all knew was getting down. But I don't think you can say that the reason the Yankees might lose is because Giancarlo Stan's base running. So uh,
it is a very specific example. All I'm saying is, look, I think it will be the little things like that that come back to haunt them at a certain point. We all remember last season the Dodgers World Series scouting report against them. The scouting report was as follows: let the Yankees self destruct, let them break from the inside. All we have to do is wait them out. It's exactly what the Dodgers did. I think that the Yankees will come around to get themselves in the end, but I do see them moving past the Blue Jays. Speaking of great starting pitching and relief pitching like we had on the Yankees, Adam, let's talk about the Chicago Cubs bullpen.
yeah, Chicago Cubs bullpen absolutely blew me away with their stuff. Great pitching series, the Cubs and the Padres. Both have great rotations, both have great bullpens. And what we saw from the Cubs bullpen in game one was absolute perfection. Going 4.2 innings pitched. I mean, there were 4.2 perfect innings. Didn't give up a run, didn't give up a hit, didn't give up a walk. 4 Ks. Great stuff there from them. Game two, another no runs given up in 4 innings pitched. And then game three, give up 1 run. They already had a little cushion there in 5 innings pitched, and them going 4 more innings in each of the 3 games shows the Cubs manager that he has a lot of trust in his bullpen. He knows that if he sends his pitcher out for at least 5 innings, he's gonna get good stuff from his bullpen, and he trusts them going in. So it's all about, I think, that Cubs lineup going into this next series. Um, can they get it done against this really good Brewers rotation? I think we'll see. Yeah, Josh.
I have the Cubs winning that series in 5. Look, the Brewers are sensational. They've cooled off down the stretch. I'm a Brewers guy. I love what they're about. I love what they're doing. Kind of that death by paper cut team. They will just get base hit after base hit. But I think when it's October, it's gonna come down to that long ball. We know we have guys on the Cubs who can hit those really clutch homers. Seiya Suzuki, Carson Kelly, Pico Armstrong, who I predicted would be the difference maker in that first series, as he was going 3 for 4 with an RBI in Game 3. I think you have the Cubs winning this one. I don't care about home field advantage. I do not care about any of that. I care that in this regular season, the Cubs hit 223 home runs to the Brewers 166, and the Cubs scored 21 more runs than the Brewers did as well. I think that those are the factors that you need to pay attention to going into this game.
Okay, so Josh, I before I get into my pick, I want to talk a little bit about the Padres bullpen and a guy who made history this weekend
Could you be
or
talking
this week.
about could you be talking about Mason Miller?
I am talking about Mason Miller throwing 104.5 miles an hour, making an MLB postseason record with the fastest pitch ever in postseason history. Mason Miller is incredible. In game one, Mason Miller went 1-2-3, striking out the side against Seiya Suzuki and Carson Keller, who both went back to back their last at bats, and then goes on to strike out PCA, making him look silly. I mean, his 103 mile per hour fastball, along with his best pitch which is the slider at like 83 miles an hour, it's unhittable, Josh. Mason Miller, I really wanted to see him in the next round, the divisional round, because what he does is just fun to watch. He's my favorite pitcher in baseball. Um,
Yeah, Mason Miller blew me away. He made 3 of the most lethal Cubs hitters just look like 3 dum dums, and that's for lack of a better word. They look silly out there. They
they
look
looked poopy,
lost.
Josh.
They looked poopy. They didn't know what they were doing. It looked like they had. This is the first time they were holding a bat, because that's what an elite pitcher like Mason Miller will do to you. Another elite pitcher we might want to look at, Tarek Skubal, as the Tigers take on the Mariners. Look, Tarek Skubal, great pitcher, but he has some trouble against the Mariners. Against the Mariners, he sports about a 5.5 ERA compared to his 2.00 ERA against other teams. It might be coincidence. It might not come to matter. But I have the Mariners in 5 because, hey, why not them? Why won't the Mariners beat the Tigers? I think the Mariners are really hot. They have Julio Rodriguez, an elite center fielder. They have Randy Rosarena, veteran outfielder. They have such a stacked team. let's talk about Cal Raleigh too. He hit 60 homers this season. Hello.
I'll tell you why not, Josh. I think that what the Tigers got going on in their clubhouse, they got energy. They got this attitude that they want to win. They played really great baseball with their lineup going, just getting some knocks, getting on base, getting some runs. All they had to do was that's all they had to do for their rotation, who played amazing. Great pitching, by the way, in this wild card series. I just want to point that out. I think we're
Yeah.
gonna get that. I think we're gonna get that the entire way going. But I'm gonna take Tigers in four. I just think the Mariners' home field advantage isn't gonna be too much for the Tigers. I think Scooble won't struggle against the Mariners this time because he's just really clutch. And again, I want to preface we love him on the show. We'd love to have Tariq on the show again, but yeah, I'm gonna go Tigers in four, and then I'm gonna give my Brewers Cubs prediction. I'm gonna take the Brewers in five. You're taking the Cubs in five. I'm gonna go Brewers in five. I just think the Brewers home field advantage will be enough to get the Cubs. I think that was the same thing with the Cubs Padres. The Cubs home field advantage was enough to take over the Padres. I just think the Brewers will do that. But this NL is just really tight, and you never know.
And let's move right into our final NL matchup. Adam, we have the Dodgers visiting the Phillies for the first two games. What do you see going down?
Yeah, so this is our favorite series going into the divisional round. Dodgers at the Phillies. What a series we got here. Phillies playing some of the best baseball, some of the best baseball right now. Dodgers playing great in that wild card, dominating the Reds. What we saw from the Dodgers was just the Reds were unmatched. I mean, we knew it going in. The Dodgers sneaking into the wild card round was just not a good matchup for the Reds, who were kind of struggling going into that a little bit too, with the Mets being poopy and letting them in. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna go Phillies in five. I think this will be an incredible series. I think the Dodgers rotation just won't be enough to keep up with the Phillies rotation. And I think the Phillies, what they got going, they want to get that first World Series with this team. I think Harper is going to be a great leader for the team. I think Kyle Schwarber will have a big bomb in this game. I think Trey Turner will be a great leader. I like the Phillies hitters. I like the Phillies pitchers. I just think there'll be a little bit too much for the Dodgers to handle, but I think it's gonna be a great series here. And I think Shohei will lose game one and the Phillies will take that game one, which will be a big difference maker.
I personally see the Phillies sweeping the Dodgers in three, just like that. Bring out the brooms, folks. Listen, the Dodgers, they're a little bit depleted. Snell, his arm is basically falling off. Yamamoto, arm falling off. They pitched a lot in the wild card round. You have Shohei. He's been a little inconsistent on the mound. He's starting game one against Christopher Sanchez, who, whoa, I took him in fantasy baseball in the 14th round. That was a sleeper pick. Christopher Sanchez was nails this season, sub 2.5 ERA, double digit wins, 14 wins, maybe something like that. Look, I think the Phillies have it right now. You have Kyle Schwarber hitting bomb after bomb, dinger after dinger. You've got Bryce Harper, one of the most clutch players in the MLB right now. You have Bryson Stott, Alec Bohm, all these amazing players behind a rotation that features Zach Wheeler, Ranger Suarez, Christopher Sanchez. You have a lead going into the ninth? Yohan Duran, bring him in. Teoscar, you have nothing on him. Mookie, you have nothing on him. Freddie Freeman, love you to death. You got nothing on Yohan Duran, and I don't think that the Dodgers are going to be able to touch the Phillies starting rotation. Give me the Phillies in three.
I just think you can't I think you can't overlook this Dodgers lineup that has hit 244 home runs and 791 RBIs this season, best for second in baseball in both categories, behind the Yankees in both categories, which is why I think both of them will get it done. I think it comes down in the postseason. It comes down to the pitchers will get you out. The pitchers will give up very little runs, and it comes down to those little home runs and the teams that can play small baseball and then also hit home runs. And I think both the Dodgers and the Yankees can do that. And I think these big market teams will get it done. I don't want to see it. And that's why I'm taking the Phillies in five. I just think, yeah, I don't want the Dodgers to win. So why not take the Phillies?
Hey, look, there's definitely a world where the Dodgers come out with multiple wins in this series. But on this show, on Diggers and Dashers, we like to go big. Give me the Phillies in three. That's my bold prediction for the NLDS.
Win or go home on this podcast. I mean, you gotta take risks. You gotta make picks. Gotta play ball.
And that's exactly what we're doing here on Dingers and Dashers. Like you said, Adam, win or go home. Look, thank you so much for joining us on the podcast this week. We had a blast. Don't you fret. We'll still be there next Wednesday at noon to review all things Nat's new president of baseball operations and Monumental Sports being dropped from YouTube and Hulu TV. Wait till you see who our Nats Throwback Player of the Week is, too. You're never going to believe it. Thank you all so much for joining us here today on Dingers and Dashers.
Dashers.